Hey guys, I want to show you my blank journal collection, and here they all are, other than about three of them from when I was a kid that are still mostly blank. I keep those in the same box as my used journals just because they're so old and I don't want to lose them, but some of these are old too. These two are from 2008, and I've been waiting for the right time to use them. And then these are from when I was a kid. I wrote a few pages in these, and then that's about it. So I'm looking forward to using a lot of these at some point. In a few months, I'll have journaled regularly for 13 years, and I think I had about 70 or 80 daily use journals, plus some childhood ones and Q&A, like themed ones, like journal prompt journals that I filled up. I actually cleaned out some of my used journals recently, so I think there's at least 50 or something now. So anyway, I think this will last. I mean, this is enough blank journals to probably last me another decade at the rate I've been going. But I have cleaned them out in recent years, and the ones I have here are ones that I know I really enjoy and I'm looking forward to using. So this one's the first one. This is a journal. It looks just like a Game Boy. Mario jumps up and down. It's just, this thing is just so fun. I really looking forward to this one. Then this one I got this summer. I wanted this one forever. For like 5 years, I think it's how long it's been out, and I've finally found one clearanced out. And it's 101 Dalmatians. I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid. It's got decorative pages. Oh yeah, I'm currently using more than one journal right now. Since when I was cleaning up my used journals, a lot of those are ones that I rushed through, either just wanting to use something else, just wanting something different, or the paper wasn't working out for me or whatever. So I've got about 5 or 6 current journals. I'm kind of having my current journal stack. One's still a main one, but just ones if I want to try out different paper and do different stuff. So yeah, that's where a few of those, like that owl journal that I've got, is one of the current ones. This one's like that owl one. It's sort of. I mean, it's leaves. But yeah, this is pretty much every blank journal I have anyway. This one's been waiting since, I want to say 2007, just because, I don't know, I guess I kind of got too many too quick back then too. I added these stickers that you color in with glaze gel pen back then. Alright, this one's really pretty. Reminds me of like a ancient castle or a library or something. So as soon as I, get a castle in my life, I'll use that one. I don't know. I just like to switch up the designs of what I'm using. Not really based on like if I'm living in a castle or not. It's never gonna happen. But just on if I'm really into nostalgia or something, I might use something like this for a while. Or if I am really into kind of vintage stuff like vinyl records and writing by candlelight and that kind of thing, I might be more inclined to use one of the ones that look older. So I just like to alternate the designs I use. These two are also I've had since 2007, and back when I used one back then, the elastic was kind of tied and it came off and I had to glue it back, so that's kind of why I didn't use these for a while. But the elastic's kind of worn enough now that it's not so tight on it, and I have a few pages in here from back then, so that'll be fun to have kind of a note from my past in there when I finally use them. And this one, I'm a sucker for these, like gold edge ones, gilded edges. And I like this size. It's about 5x7-ish. It's a refillable one here. Okay, this is gonna take. I better hurry. I don't know if long videos are cool or like I don't know. I like watching long videos, but I'm not sure about most people. But this one I'd wanted for so many years, probably a decade, and I finally got this a year or two ago. They stopped making it, and I found one online, and I was really excited because these were one of the ones when I first started journaling in fall 2006. I saw this, and I think it was this one in Barnes and Noble, and they were kind of intimidating and expensive and just not not in my budget back then, basically. So I'd always wanted one of these, and finally have some. Since they're discontinued, I'm really glad I found these online. And this one's kind of over the top. It's a juicy one that I found it necessary to add even more crap to it. So I added not really bedazzle. I'm old. Bedazzler. It's rhinestones to it, and it's already got like crowns and all this other stuff. And the line spacing is really big. It's got a lot of space on the top and bottom of the lines too. But this one had been on my wish list for so long too, and I got it a few years ago. It's weird how certain journals of design just really catch your eye and you want it for years and years, and some stuff is just like meh, but like other journals are like, I've got to have it. Just another one that I needed a second eye in it. It's kind of horrifying now. It's another Barnes & Noble one. They also don't have the sign. They'd had this for probably a few years, and I got this back in 2015 or 16. It's really tall. I'm intended to use it, but it's pretty thick, so that's kind of why I haven't used it yet, because it's kind of heavy. And then this one, this design's been around for probably 15 years. Then this one, like the current owl one I used the owl one of these last year too, and I really liked it. Other than it's got something just fell out of this. I don't think it's just stickers. That's really random. It's just, oh yeah, it was stickers. I don't think that was even mine. I bought this one online from, I think I just got it on Felipe. I guess I added another crap in there. Kind of afraid to just like open it now. Anyway, the deckled edges I don't like. That stuff gets all over everything, but the paper is really nice and the leather smells really nice. And oh, I forgot I almost used this at one point. I just started decorating like the about pages and stuff. But anyway, yeah, the leather smells just amazing on these. It's got this kind of binding, which is kind of different. And then this one got my late grandma's earring on here. Then this lavender moleskin, I had used one like this earlier in the year, and it just wasn't what I felt like using at the time. The paper just didn't work out. These pages are kind of tall, and it takes a lot of writing to fill them up. So I think that's why it didn't work out in the beginning of the year. But I decided to get another one because I just love this color. This is my favorite color for so many years. Even one of my prom dresses was kind of this color. So it's always like this color, and I wanted one. It's a limited edition one, so that's kind of why I wanted to get one while they still existed. And then this right here I've had forever. I'm probably not gonna use this as a journal, but I'm not sure. I haven't decided what to do with it. It's really old, like me. It's, I want to say not from the Sanrio store, but a store that had a bunch of Sanrio stuff, and it's called Color and Color Collection. But I've just had it so long that I kept it. I had a few other notebooks from the store that I cut up the cover and a few pages and stuck in a scrapbook, but this one, I just kept around because I was trying to come up with something to use it for. It's kind of a useful size. I could stick it in a bag and use it for school notes or something. I think that's what I used it for back then. I just didn't go to class enough to fill it up. Anyway, these two, I've wrote a few pages back in the day. One of them I got on a road trip back from, on the way back, my friend and I went on a road trip, like a day trip once, and I got a journal on the way back because we were going to a writing club, and we both had to go get a journal on the way to it so we could have something to write in. So I wrote a few pages in these, and one of the journal prompts that was in that group was what do you fear? So I have a pretty personal entry in that one. Then, and I'm not sure if I've said before, but some of the ones that are gonna be next in line, I'm gonna take out of here and put in my kind of journal supply container. just so, because this might end up kind of like stacked in a closet, like in kind of storage. So the ones that I'm going to use next, I'll probably keep maybe 10 of these out in like my current journaling supply container, just so, because most of these I won't need for a year or more. I'm just going to have some of them out and the rest of them in here. This one, I think this one I got last year. I wanted this design for so long, I can't really remember. But the paper that comes with this is not my favorite. It's bleach white. It doesn't lay flat. The texture bothers me. So I put in a Rhodia web notebook, dot grid, and I just got that because it was the cheapest one I could find with the dots. And I never tried dots until the one I'm using now. I'm using the brown tree one right now, and I actually really like the dot grid. Surprisingly, it's really like narrow line spacing, but the paper's nice enough, and the cover, it just works really well. It's kind of helped me get back into writing a little bit. But this one I'm excited to use at some point. This will probably be one of the next, like in my QA, like next journals in line type of thing. Okay, let's just take all the Lisa Frank out at once. Lisa Frank. These are gonna be in my kind of next in line container too. And part of why I'm doing the multiple journals at the same time now is because I like to use stuff like this, but sometimes you just don't want to write in something nostalgic or cutesy, and I like having multiple options. Like I could write in this one and then this one, like depending on what I feel like writing in that day and what type of paper and all that. And Sanrio, this character is my favorite. One of my current journals, I had a journal like this when I was a kid that I wrote a little bit in, but didn't fill, so I'm going to try to finish that one now. It's one of my current ones. This one. And this one was, I have to call you PJ. It's your new nickname now. Hopefully that's okay. But anyway, PJ from YouTube sent me this in Happy Mail, and it's so magically colorful. I'd never had the dolphins one either. Like really any dolphin Lisa Frank stuff. It's just so, like, it's just all the colors. Yeah, that makes me happy. But even the pages, it's just cracking up. It's like it's an ocean with a heart in it. Then this one I've had since I was young, and I did like a summer, well, kind of a long summer at a college and high school, and my parent gave me this to take with me, and I never used it. I just stuck a few travel touristy type of stuff in it, and I covered it in Mod Podge a few years ago, and it's finally the texture doesn't bother me. I think that's why I didn't use it back then. But I've never liked this type of paper. It's pretty, but it's also pretty annoying to write on. But I'm gonna use this at some point because it's so old now, and it's got some nostalgia in it. Even though I didn't use it, I kept it around and stuck some. What's in here? Postcards and school stuff and all that. Then these are also from when I was a kid. These are vintage markings, C.R. Gibson one. This is back when they did the fabric one. And then I took some notes in here for like some youth organizations I was in. This was a travel journal that we did like a charity trip when I think it was in elementary school. And we went to one of the venues of the Olympics to distribute water and first aid kits or something. And one of the people who knew our youth like brought a bunch of these. We got to pick one out, so I chose this one, and it's got a bunch of travel memories in here, but it's still not used. I used this for, I want to say like 3 summers, but I didn't really stick to it too much because there's still some pages that say like Friday, day 8, and like that's the entire thing on the page, and it's like that for like a week. But they're still nostalgic because they've just been in my life so long. So I'm probably gonna use maybe this one first. This one's got some notes from high school and a youth organization thing I did. And then this one. I've never really seen leather that looks like this. It looks like wood, but it's just leather, which is interesting. I've kind of developed an owl, not really an owl fetish, but a thing for owls. Like my friend and I, for the past few years, we keep seeing owl stuff everywhere we go. Owl and elephant, and I was like, "What is with the owl stuff?" But the owls are kind of growing on me, literally. So I have a current owl journal. I got this, and I used an owl journal last year. It's kind of a problem. This thing is huge. It's not what you said. But yeah, it's refillable. This is the one I looked for so many years. I think this was either one of the ones that they had in fall 2006 when I went to Barnes and Noble to get my first journal, or like ones like it. I bought this online, and sometimes when you buy stuff online, people are like, yeah, it's new, but it's missing pages. Like you can see that they're torn out. But anyway, I was really glad to find the design anyway. And I have been tempted to use it, but it's just so tall that I kind of want to wait till I'm in the middle of a writing kick for this one. And this is another one of the ones that I just seen around the bookstore for years and was kind of out of my league budget-wise, out of my budget anyway. So this one's also tempting. This one I want to say that has a like design published year of like 2006 or something. It's a Fiorentina one, and it is kind of dented from me stacking it, but I think I might end up with like 10 journals at the same time now. I just can't wait to use so many of them. And I like that my collection's like that now, because I used to have more blank journals than this. I just found a lot of good deals at discount stores, and I used pocket moleskins and kind of the same type of journal for so many years that when I finally started branching out, I ended up with too many like really quickly. So I cleaned a lot of those out, and then the ones here are ones that are really kind of more unique and ones that I really know I'll enjoy. This one, a childhood friend gave me probably over a decade ago, and I don't really know her anymore, but I kept it just because it's a nice, like we had fun as a kid, or as kids rather. Then this one, I got this one last year at Target, kind of had a holographic kick, and I still do, but not as much as I did then. The paper isn't ideal. This one, I used to have this view outside my window, so that's why I found necessary to get this one. This one's an old, it's called an Anything book by, doesn't actually say, I thought it did. Well, they're just called Anything books. They're from the 90s. I don't think they make them anymore. An old boss gave me this one, and another Barnes and Noble one. That boss kind of was one of the reasons I got into journaling. My grandpa had said for a few years, or he wrote in a letter once. He's gone now, but back then, you're living in a historic city, in historic times. You should treasure these memories, even document in a journal, something like that. And then I had a boss give me this for Christmas, and I was an editor, and she said something encouraging, like every good writer needs a good journal, or something like that. This rainbow rose one. When I use these, I like to thin them out because they don't lay flat well otherwise. So it's not as thick. I like it better like that. I don't say that very often. This Tetris one, this one's really tiny, but even the pages are decorative. I got some Tetris stickers in there. They kind of keep coming off, but VHS tape, cassette tape moleskin. This one's a Piccadilly one, medium essential journal. They don't make the colorful ones anymore, except limited runs, and they're hard to find. Large moleskin, the coral one, I think. Pink, Mario. I'm trying to hurry because I know this is kind of long. This Clarissa Explains It All. I'm pretty sure I've got, yeah, Clarissa Explains It All stickers in here. I've never filled an entire journal just on like notebook paper like this, but I think it might be kind of fun just because it's casual and not intimidating like some of the other ones. And I was also tempted to use it for school notes, but I don't really take notes, so I just decided to keep it as a journal instead. This Etch-a-Sketch one, and the pages in here are like you can tear out, so I'm not sure how well this will last, but it's just so fun. Like, I can't resist vintage designs like that. It's just Toy Story. This is a little paper chase one. I used the large paper chase one. They're fabric covers and they're soft covers, and I actually liked it. The paper line spacing is really big, and the paper's kind of white, but I really enjoyed that one. So I think this one. I'm not sure if I'll use it this fall, but it just kind of seems like if I was going on like campfires and hay rides, this is what I'd want to take with me. And like mace, because I don't want to be stranded in the woods in a farm, like in the middle of an open field with no one around for miles. Anyway, this one, my leg is about to fall off. 1 second. Okay. This one I got one like this in fall or spring 2007. Kind of when I was first getting into journaling, and that one, the binding kind of was, the paper's coming out of the binding. So I cut off the cover and a few pieces of paper out. I put it in a scrapbook a few years ago. But anyway, I stumbled on another one of these online. I couldn't resist. I'm not sure if I'll use it this time or not, but I think I probably will. Or if I just wanted to use this as some kind of collage art thing, just because it's really neat, woven ribbon thing. The pages are kind of purple. It's interesting paper. And this one, paper blanks. This one's an old Target shabby chic one, and it's got a bow, and I've been tempted to use this before. The paper's kind of bleach white, but I wanted one of these for so long that I was glad to find it. Alright, now my arm is numb. Okay. This one is a Peter Popper press one. I added the turtle, but it's kind of a metallic sheen to the journal. The lines in there are very light. I'll show you in this one. This is another one from that brand. It's huge. The design is really different. But yeah, the lines, if you're writing like by candlelight or in a low lit room, they're kind of hard to see. I mean, I've got a fluorescent light above me right now, so they don't look as just light. But if you're writing with like one lamp in a bedroom, I can't really see the lines much in my room. All right, we're more than halfway there. This one, it's a Lisa Frank one, and the battery's out, but it does light up. You have the battery still. This one, I got this one during one of the Times Square New Year's that I did, and I like having like journals I pick up on travels or gifts from friends. I've only had like 2 friends ever give me a journal, and 1 boss, I guess, but I like just when there's souvenir or from someone you care about or whatever, it makes it special. This one, another paper blanks one. The edge is really pretty. Sanrio. And this one's interesting. This design's from, I think it was like 2005. It's an old paper blanks one, and the corner really is not straight. It's just an interesting, odd shape. So, and it's got like velvet on part of it. Scratched up now. It kind of fell off a bookshelf I had, but I thought it was cool looking. And the paper looks like that. Then another Sanrio. I kind of almost forgot I still had this blank one. It's got small pages. Then this Lisa Frank one. It's got chevron pages all over it, otherwise I probably would have used it by now. It is fun looking, it's just, I like to add in washi tape, and pattern pages aren't always suitable for that. So I was kind of waiting to use it when I wasn't really into washi tape for, I thought, like during that time. This little Barnes & Noble one, I added some charms to it. And actually, this is one from them too. This one I've had forever. It was one of the times, I mean, over probably like 15 years. It's been forever. I tried to get into journaling back then, and it just didn't work out. So I've written a handful of pages in here, tore it out, and plan to get rid of this journal a decade ago or more. Actually, more than a decade ago back then. But for some reason, I just tossed in a box of clothes or something, and then I found it years later. I'm like, okay, now I really am glad I kept this journal. So I got the pages from this and another journal. I'm gonna put them back in here when I use it. It's only a handful, but they're so old. It's just a cool glimpse into my past, even before I got into journaling. The paper is kind of average. It's kind of too white for my taste. It says thoughts on every page. But I'm waiting for the right time to use this when I have, like when I have a kind of more of the life I want. Because back then I was just clinically depressed. I'm having a really hard time. So I want to use this when things are going good, just to kind of be like, hey, I can make my life better, and just kind of like show my past that my future doesn't suck. I don't know. That sounds weird, but 1 second. Okay, yeah, this one is also old. I've had this since I was a kid. It's a Mary Bright one. It doesn't have the year, but it's just got these in here, and the other page is got a few little Mary Bright things on it too. And then this one I got at Ross, I think. Ross or TJ Maxx. Or no, not TJ Maxx. Ross or Marshalls, I can't remember. I think it was Marshalls. And then this one, but it seems like everyone has this one. It's been around forever, and they don't make it anymore. It's a Barnes & Noble one. The old, I want to say it's like the Rhinestone Heart Journal or something. I can't remember the name of it. It's this one. Yeah, Rhinestone Heart Journal. I'd been eyeing this for a long time, like for years, but I never got it because it is a very themed journal. It's got the Cupid arrow on every page and the crap around it, and it's kind of tiny. But I wanted to get one while I could still find one, just because I had seen it so long. I used to like how Barnes & Noble had at least some of the same journals for so many years, because it kind of felt like you're seeing old friends there. It just sounds weird, inanimate objects, but like it's just familiar things that you go there, and it feels like more of a, not really a museum, like more of a library than a bookstore. It's another paper blanks one. And what else? This one, Big Bang Theory. I'm pretty sure the pages are, no, they're not blank. They got the TV show logo on every page. Roommate agreement. I kind of relate to a lot of Sheldon, so other than the good job and high IQ, but like I can relate to like the social awkwardness and stuff. This one is I got from Claire's within Toys R Us when Toys R Us was closing. So I've got an old Toys R Us bag in here to kind of make it more nostalgic. I used I don't know what kind of animal it was. I think it was like the blue one, or no, blue? Yeah, it was like a blue bunny or something. I used that last year when Toys R Us was closing, and I'm gonna at some point gonna use this ridiculous chicken one or duckling, or I don't really know what it is. Farms, yay. This one's really gigantic, but it's just different looking. I got this from a museum in the UK and just ordered it. But I did see one in Florida a few years ago. But they only had one there, and that was it. We don't have the Books a Million, I think. I kind of started using it then, but I ended up, I don't know, just not using it. I got 2017. I had this old Fruit 2.0 in my trunk for so many years. It had been discontinued for years, and they finally brought it back this year. I don't decorate every journal like this like ahead of time. I just was gonna use it, and then I didn't end up doing that after all. The line spacing is kind of large. Kind of like in between like line spacing in between this. I'm not sure if you can really tell the size of it, and I don't like super tiny or super large lines. I think that's kind of why it's been waiting, but I also want the right time to use it too. There's some decorative. I put a pocket full of stickers in here. That'll be a fun surprise when I eventually use it. Oh yeah, here it is. Like these type of pages. It's got a clear one and then it's a sticker on the back. And then this. Yeah, it's a fabric cover. It's just really unique looking. And then this one I got in, I want to say 2007, 2008 when London's and Things was closing. And it's not really the type of journal I usually use, really, but I did like that store. Linens and Things. The paper's kind of cheap and white, so that's kind of why I tend to not use this type. It's because the paper is not good. And then this one, I wrote a few pages in this back in like 2014. I kind of use this as a travel journal. I don't like to take my journal's mostly full or halfway full. I don't really like to travel with that especially if I'm visiting relatives or something, or just anywhere where a journal will be around and maybe accidentally get picked up and read. Or from around friends too, like just regardless, I don't like, or I could get lost or whatever. I just like to not have mostly full journals or half full journals. So I took this as kind of a travel journal and wrote a handful of pages, and then I was going to use it as an extra online, but didn't end up doing that after all. So it's just got a handful of pages still. It's such a long video. If anyone's still watching this, I think that's all. Let me make sure. Well, other than these. This one, this right now one's a markings one. This one's a Peter Piper Press, Disney, and these didn't have a brand. It was just, they're called jacket journals. I'm not sure that's a brand or just the product name. Anyway, let me know if you enjoyed this, and happy holiday weekend. Have a good one. Bye.